Hi everyone. Today we are in the ETP kitchen and we have a very special guest. You've heard me talk about my dad before, and he's with us here today to show us how he makes his very secret special gravy that we're going to show you after you eat it, because sometimes people are really surprised by the ingredients. So without further ado, here is my dad.
And so are we ready to go?
Yep.
Great. All we got to do is figure out how to go on.
So Dad, actually it probably won't go, it'll cook really fast, so don't worry. But Dad, tell us about the gravy. How did you learn how to make this gravy?
This is a off-the-store shelf gravy. It's not really a true gravy in the sense of gravy when you're using the dredgings from a turkey that's already been cooked and that sort of stuff. So this is actually an easy way for people to make it.
Awesome.
It comes out of the box.
Exactly. And one thing I always know, because we've made this gravy probably 1,000 times over the years, is that it's kind of based on what you have in your kitchen. It's not very expensive, and there's just a couple main things that you like to have in there.
That's right. You gotta have the boxed chicken stock. You gotta have that on the shelf, and you gotta have flour, and everything else is it's a daily measure of what you have to use.
So let's just have a look what Dad's got today.
Sure.
So he's got,
You got ketchup, you got flour, you've got brown sugar, and the reason why we use brown sugar is so it gives the gravy at the end a bit of more of a shine than just being dull and what have you. And then this ingredients here, which is Worcestershire sauce. I'm trying to say that 10 times
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, yeah. This just gives a little bit of a nip to things.
Yeah.
And these are actually extra spices. This is actually thyme, and this is savory. You don't necessarily have to use those, but just adds to the taste. This I did mention ketchup.
Yep.
The secret to the whole thing, because we're trying to create an old-fashioned type gravy, but without doing the work to do it. The trick to the whole thing today is to use the lemon, because the lemon will actually bring out more of a body in the gravy itself. If you don't have the lemon, it becomes sort of ho-ho. But with the lemon in, it's a bit of trickery and it makes it better.
So in chef school, which you went to, quite often people will make gravy out of the stuff that comes off of the meat when it's cooking. Is that right?
The whole idea, yeah. Well, when you actually make the real gravy, as I say, you use the carcass of the turkey. You can use ends of celery, tomato, onion, carrots. You throw it all into the stock, and by the time it finishes curing for say 4 or 5 hours, and it cools down, you'll actually have a way better version of this box, because it's so concentrated that it's almost like a gel, and it's the pure way to make the real gravy, and actually a good base for soups also.
Which is what we're going to do after we eat the chicken dinner, Dad.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Boil the bones, and you'll see the flavor will be that much better.
Awesome. All right, I guess we're ready to get started.
I guess we're ready to get started.
Okay, so you want me to turn on the oven? Actually, probably you should pour some broth in there, and then I'll turn it on. I think it likes the weight of the broth.
All right. Okay, so there we go.
You want it like medium high, Dad?
Let's go, yeah, medium high. Okay. Sure. Okay, we've done that. And we're gonna take some ketchup. It doesn't, it's heating up right now. Putting the ketchup and stuff in right now is okay to do. This is brand new.
Sorry.
Right.
Straight off the pantry shelf.
Yeah.
We go through ketchup like we're drinking it at my house.
This is yours?
Yes.
All right. So, just a little dab will do you. We're gonna take some of the Worcestershire sauce.
Grandma would be just like, is it Worcestershire?
Yeah, because that just gives a little dip. We're gonna throw some thyme in there. As I said, you don't necessarily need to use this. It's just that I have it and it creates a better product in the end.
I like how you're not using measuring spoons. It's because you
if
know.
If I don't know by now, there's really no point.
At least it's better than digging through my spice cupboard at home, Haida.
Yeah, there's no barking going on. This is pepper, I think, yeah? Yep.
Probably.
All right, it is.
It's kind of nice having fresh ground pepper or ground pepper already, hey? You don't have to sit there and crank the pepper mill.
Or push the button.
Yes, so right.
Yeah.
All the modern conveniences.
Okay, and I'm just gonna, we've got the garlic powder here. I don't use it normally, but being that it's here, definitely not gonna hurt. Just a little in there, because we don't know the power. You can always add. Can't necessarily take away, but we can always add.
Yep, you can always add, but you can't take away. That is like a solid rule in cooking.
Yeah,
And what's that?
onion powder.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad just found that lying around in our kitchen classroom.
I had to chase it actually. Okay, then I'm gonna put some seasoning salt in there.
So we find that because we're so used to a really tasty gravy, we find other kinds of gravy just blah compared to Dad's.
It's like the Betty Crocker
Yes.
chicken stock.
Very boring flavor
Chicken
compared
stock,
to Dad's.
flour. Yeah.
Dad's you could probably just put in a soup bowl and eat afterwards. And actually, surprisingly, if there's any gravy left over, usually we actually put it into whatever soup we're making next.
Yep.
That's a great base.
Yep, for sure. For sure. A little bit of lemon.
You want more lemon, Dad?
Nope. That's enough. Even give you some leftovers.
Mm. So that other lemon was looking a little on the
Yeah.
ancient
Yeah.
side, but hey, that's what we had.
Looks a little familiar.
That's it.
Okay, so now I'm gonna wait for this to warm up, and it's doing really a good job.
Excellent.
I'm gonna lower it down.
That's an induction stove.
It's great.
So what Dad's doing now is actually a really interesting little trick. So he uses a container to mix the flour and some cold water together.
Yeah, yeah. Normally, you this actually is this mixture is called a roux, R-O-U-X, and it's used for thickening. And normally, you do it when you're actually making the gravy. The flour has to go. It goes in hot, and it makes it very difficult to work with that way because sometimes it'll go into balls, and you'll be little white snowdrops in the gravy. It doesn't look that great.
Yeah, it makes the gravy kind of chunky if you don't
Yeah.
do this properly. I know that for me, sometimes I make the mistake of putting hot water in with the flour, and it just doesn't work like it does with cold water. So mixing it with cold just a bit can, and then once you're ready, Dad will take a picture of how much you've got in there.
Yep. Sure. And I'm not necessarily going
So
to use
not
all
much.
of it either. Okay, there's what I have in there at the moment. I'm
And
gonna
on
shake it.
goes a good fitting lid, also important.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you turn this down a bit?
Oh, sure, yep. Oh, goodness. That is just really cooking.
Good.
The nice thing about an induction is that it's very quick. Look at that. Geez, it changed right away.
Yeah.
All the modern conveniences.
Okay, so here we have the water mixed in there.
Oh, look at no lumps at all.
And I'm just gonna open it up at the same time. I'm gonna pour it in slowly because it will give us too many lumps if it goes in quickly. Okay, I can see one floating around in here now.
So this yogurt container is a single-use container, but it's being used with a dry ingredient and a wet ingredient very quickly, and it's not being used to store food again. It's just being used to make the light flour formula. So you'll start to see it thicken up, because right now it's very frothy looking. And you'll notice that Dad is stirring a lot. That's also one of those keys, is that actually, as soon as you start to thicken a gravy, the possibility of burning it becomes an issue. So he's mixing it to thicken it, and he's also mixing it so that it doesn't burn. Good job, Dad. You working up a sweat yet?
Not yet.
You're turning pink. Maybe it's just very warm in here.
Not used to being on camera.
Oh, you're doing a good job.
Okay, we're just gonna let that
Nice.
turn it down a bit this way.
Okay, yep.
Good. All right, let's see what that does for a minute.
Nice. So we'll take a pause here for a moment and we'll come back. How long do you think it would take that gravy to cook, Dad?
Just as long as the flour gets cooking, I would say 5 or 6 minutes and it's already done.
Wow. All right, folks, we'll take a quick break.
Okay, so we've got everything done. We've made it nice and thick. We've added a little bit more spice in there of the same spices. And now I'm going to add, see, it's rather sort of like there's no sheen to it. And this actually sugar, be it brown, be it white. I use white or brown all the time. So I'm just going to throw that in there. And that will make the gravy have a nice shine to it. Sort of like shining your shoes.
Oh, it smells so delicious in here. We were taste testing it a little bit and adding just a little bit more thyme, a little bit more seasoning salt.
Put all the basic stuff that we have already.
That's right, the same
Yeah.
stuff. And just that's the thing about taste testing it and using a clean spoon, and you can add more. As Dad said before, you can't take it out. So just go slow adding stuff and just taste it.
And there you go.
Are you ready to taste it?
You're tasting it.
No, you taste it.
I'm
I'm
holding
holding the camera.
Okay,
Please don't burn your tongue.
here I go.
Okay. Nice clean spoon.
Nice clean spoon. And you take just a little bit like that, and you taste it because it'll be too hot otherwise. You take more. Oh, that's perfect.
Yay.
That's a 10 out of 10.
Yay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Dad.
All right. And we spent,
It's like 15 minutes.
yeah, and that's it. You're done.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Dad.
All right. See ya.